il Torino Juventus. Eccoci ragazzi con la live reaction e richiede scusa se c'è un po' di ritardo, ma ora scrivo tutto perché nel frattempo scusatemi. Eccoci ragazzi, scusate, è iniziata molto tardi la partita perché è successo un fatto che è a dir poco vergognoso ragazzi, non c'è un cazzo da dire, perché non è normale, non è assolutamente normale vedere queste scene. Non è assolutamente normale Ok ragazzi, da un attimo ci sono montate. Scusate per questo ritardo, ma ragazzi, purtroppo io ero magari riesco un po'. Allora, io ero al club, però ovviamente causa un po' così non sono riuscito a farvi vedere la partita e quindi per motivi extra non sono riuscito a fare la reaction perché al club non andava il segnale e poi appunto la partita è iniziata praticamente adesso e ora vi dico un po' le formazioni e poi può fare un reel perché c'è un paio di cose da dire su questa situazione, però io ora voglio dire qualcosina adesso, Io ora la devo dire. Io voglio capire per quale cazzo di motivo ci devono essere questi episodi. Perché ci devono essere questi episodi vergognosi. Cioè, ma si può. Oh, è una partita di calcio. È una partita di calcio, ragazzi. Ma perché non vedete questi episodi? Cioè, per un derby abbiamo rischiato di ammazzare un tifoso perché sono scontrati e poi ovviamente giustamente hanno rinviato la partita alle 10 meno un quarto, mandando tutto vabbè, non so se avete capito la contemporaneità. Ma ti sembra normale? Vi sembra normale una cosa simile? Ritmo in uno, disputano uno. È normale? Che se no io non so come dire, cioè vabbè. Comunque è iniziato da poco la Juve, vabbè. La Juve non è che sta a fare un partitone. Quindi, vabbè. Non sta iniziando proprio benissimo, però comunque è anche un po' per questo che l'ho fatto a caso, perché al club non andava la linea e quindi la reaction per forza di cose l'ho dovuta fare qui a casa. Adesso infatti mi fare uno short che poi manderò su YouTube, cioè un video su TikTok, dove parlo di questa cosa e poi vediamo se segna la Juve. Eccomi ragazzi, allora mo lo caricherò lo short prima della partita quando farò allora, ragazzi, quando finirà la live io quando finisce la live vi pubblico lo short, però comunque io vi dirò una cosa, cioè è una vergogna che dobbiamo assistere a questi episodi così beceri, senza un senso logico. Io non so cos'altro aggiungere. Io sono ancora preoccupato. Più che la partita che sono qua e adesso non so come vanno gli altri campi. L'unico aggiornamento che c'è sugli altri campi è che il Como per ora vince, poi la Roma pareggia e il Milan pareggia. Quindi a me non significa niente, perché comunque siamo comunque in Italia, but Juventus are in possession. Per ora è un po' così. Ma il fatto che dobbiamo aspettare questi soldi io non me ne capacito. Non me ne capacito perché adesso andando un attimo a vedere la classifica. Torino, forse Saul Kokovic. È tutto invariato in tutto. Quindi come vi ho appena detto, la Roma pareggia Verona, il Milan e Roma pareggiano, Milan 1-1 e la Roma della 0 e poi come in vantaggio a noi non ci cambia niente essenzialmente, noi non neanche ne approfittiamo che non mi ha detto la formazione. Vabbè, in difesa abbiamo Calulu, Gatti e Kelly, poi a centrocampo McKennie e Fratelli, e poi cambiato
Vlahovic. Oh, Weston McKennie.
Dovrebbe essere,
McKennie.
diciamo come abbiamo
It's
detto prima, cioè
Torino now
dovrebbe
under massive
essere
pressure, all compact, all the 11 players defending at the edge of their own box, and here Boga,
a 3,
when he
poi
receives the ball in the
Kelly,
last
Salù,
10 meters, 15 meters, he's
poi
the player that
soltanto
can make things happen, not
Locatelli
scared to go
e
one against one here, misunderstanding between
e
Palear and
McKennie,
Coco,
e
and now
poi
corner,
abbiamo
Costa San Boga on the ball, chance for Juve.
dovrebbe esserci On e poi Gloria On e poi Infusao Boga, dai, mamma mia, stavo dicendo.
First chance for Juventus, all the Torino players appealing for an out ball touch by Vlahovic. From there, Gatti should have done better. Probably with the ball from this free play of the number 9. Touch the ball with his right hand. From there, Gatti has to find the target at least. And then maybe a question about Vlahovic touch. And here, typical from a derby.
Vabbè, poi è cambiato e poi consiglio Boga e poi Vlahovic che dovrebbe che era in dubbio ma alla fine è giocato e questo è un po' scusa se particolarmente una casa perché ma purtroppo al club non andava
Zapata is an awful striker to play against, even it's not easy for a big boy like Gatti. Has to be maybe no more aggressive, gain the advantage, because if you leave Zapata able to control the ball, then you cannot steal the ball of him. And then you give Torino the chance to gain space, room, and now they are just outside Juventus box. They can put a decent ball in.
Some intensity so far. During Derby's City clash. Has ball in. Overhead. Disappointing finish then.
Yeah, you have to make the most of this kind of situation. For a player like quality of Ilkan, you have to produce a better service, better delivery for your teammates, because these are the chances in the derby, time matches, you can change the game.
And he to bypass the midfield. Canate slips, Boga wins it back. Conceição, McKennie. Galulu, the up to cross. Conceição. Tally. Conceição to sling away. Smiley, was he fouled? He was. Foul to Torino.
I think it's probably Vlasic in that position, gaining the ball from Conceição, then Locatelli immediately, really aggressive, fouling the number 10, Torino number 10.
Henderson, no one's in the Valentino Lozano this evening. Zapata, bring it under control. Lots of battling, lots of duels so far. It's been intense. Juventus or Torino to take control. Approach the midway stage already. First half of this derby della Mole.
It's Thomas Torino. Very compact, all the 11 players. Zapata, Simeone, no pressing, shielding the ball.
Kelly. To the Derby d'Italia. Early this season, coming down into the Turin derby. Locatelli. It's Vlahovic. Trying to turn. He's appealing. Play on. Here is Giovanni Simeone. Vlasic in support. May not need him. Still going. Giovanni Simeone. This would be wonderful. Just crowded out again by Kalulu. They get it.
Yeah, fantastic effort by Torino number 18. By himself. Drove the ball for 30-40 yards. They have been 80s. Desire
meno
will
male che l'ultima
gain the ball
giornata.
back. Locatelli,
Che
good transition from the Granata.
così è veramente
So,
brutta, proprio da vedere.
Kelly,
Non
away.
è, cioè, in teoria la Juventus dovrebbe,
Kelly,
dovrebbe,
again, the ball over the top.
visto
Just
che
gives
le altre
possession
non
back
stanno
to Torino.
vincendo, la Juventus,
So it looks like Cagliari
ma tanto
taking
si
a bit of a
sapeva
lead
che,
at Milan,
ah no,
turning around actually the training initially. That is good news for Juventus. They need teams around them to drop points
Turan,
and of
con la
course need to do
Catelli e
their part and
McKenny
win this
è
evening.
cambiato.
Thuram, è cambiato. Here is Vlahovic.
Dai, palla, dai Boga, vai Boga, vai Boga! Mamma mia, che piedi quadrati che hai!
Kalulu, Locatelli,
Me, dai,
Thuram. Kenny leaps up. Now
me,
the Dusan
tira,
Vlahovic.
tira, ma quanti
Desperate from Torino. They're really under the cosh now.
Yeah, that's the Torino spirit. Couple of fantastic blocks by the Torino defenders. Here Vlahovic had the chance after Boga. First block by Torino here. Obrador off
ma
clear.
quanti, ma come
And then
cazzo?
Ismaili clearing the danger.
Con il tuo piede,
Starting
con
to
il
turn the
tuo
screw there.
piede, no, ma che significa? Stai fare?
Have a corner kick. And what's this house heading over it? Boga. Against 10-man Verona, so Roma doing their part, Como doing their part, Milan are losing at home to Cagliari.
That's incredible. So far, with this kind of results, Como and Roma will be in the Champions League next season. Bit of drama. Serie A.
Gets it away. Not rushing.
Allora, la Roma in vantaggio.
Kalulu. Kalulu on the ball. Thuram.
E la Juve si sta,
Promising for the Bianconeri.
la Juve si sta.
With Thuram. Now
Ma cosa?
Vlahovic. And Juventus lead.
male.
It's Dusan Vlahovic.
Dai,
Putting the Bianconeri in the derby. So
che
many question
andiamo
marks
in
over his future.
vantaggio.
But the here and now, the present, is him scoring in the derby della Mole.
That's what he
Cioè, sono contento che sono in vantaggio, ma so benissimo che non basterà perché la Roma è in vantaggio, quindi
wonderful transition by Thuram when he's got room to drive the ball forward. He's unstoppable. Ball inside, you can see here.
Ed è terzo in classifica.
Too much room.
Terzo in classifica, penso insieme al Milan.
Too much room. Ismaili not touching up, not enough. And then around 4 players, Torino players, finds the net thanks to a deflection, a crucial one. They beat Paleari for the opening goal.
Ma il Juve e il Milan potrebbero andare in Europa League.
Wrong footing. Paleari.
Io rido proprio a piangere, ragazzi. Io rido veramente proprio a piangere.
During his Juventus career that he has punished Torino on this ground, the match winner in the 22-23 season, and looking to do it again here.
Too much room, Thomas. Simple as that. Thuram is driving the ball. Ismail, in a certain moment, leaves Vlahovic, receives the ball. And that
country. The summer certainly arrived here in Il Bel Paese, the beautiful country. Juventus then in this strong position at the halfway stage. Have just joined us. The kickoff was delayed by an hour. There was crowd trouble in the build-up to this game. Juventus fan seriously injured. In fact, the Juventus Ultra has called the Juventus players to not play this game. That's why the away end has been deserted. The Juventus Ultras leaving the ground. Kick-off, as you can see, has gone ahead, and we are playing, and Vlahovic is on course, even though it's still very early days, to be the goal hero. Will it be a leaving present? Maybe just another positive chapter in his Juventus career? Time will tell. Something for Demet Comoli, the CEO, Spalletti, and the Juventus directors Elka and Chiellini to discuss next week when Spalletti will meet with the Juventus directors to plan next season.
yeah, he's the player that can completely change the face of Juventus attack, any team attack if he's on form, if he doesn't have groin problems. He's a goal-scoring machine.
Dai, fate un altro gol. Salvate, salvabile.
By injuries for Dusan Vlahovic. Calf problems.
Rinnoviamolo.
Kenyo's is currently out with the calf problem. He's a rising star of the season, but he's on the bench, showing moral support. There's also Milik and Cabal, who are also struggling with their own injury issues.
Anche se ha fatto gol.
Spalletti wanting everybody to be here,
Lui
play
che
a part. There's
devi
of course a
offendere, però
very short trip across the city for the Bianconeri. There's
non
all city clash.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with Vlahovic's future, but he's a very important player. Top-class striker.
Cambiaso through the middle there. Now Breton is checking inside.
And you mentioned, Thomas, the importance to have a player like Kalulu in this Juventus side, because he's the man that is win the ball back immediately, transform the build-up, the defensive phase into the offensive phase, find the square pass, an easy one towards Thuram, who's got plenty of room to drive to. Then he finds Vlahovic in the middle of the Torino penalty box, completely unmarked, and from there he doesn't miss.
In the situation,
la Juventus è quinta.
Torino trying to find an equalizer. Zapata.
Mo non voglio dire niente, però
Henderson's ball in.
pure il Milan,
Conceição coming back. That police Spalletti, that work rate.
cioè il Milan è sotto la Juventus.
Breton. Vlašić. Here is Ilkan.
Purtroppo Juve
Henderson.
cioè, anzi, si è verificato proprio un scenario
Torino keep it alive.
per quanto riguarda la classifica
Breton's ball in.
che tutti noi ci aspettavamo per i due scontri diretti del cazzo.
And now it's Torino, Thomas, are putting Juventus under massive pressure.
Giustamente
Simeone tried
è sopra
a
di noi.
spectacular one, tried to emulate another Torino hero of the past.
Non
Quagliarella
serve un
used to
cazzo
score
perché
fantastic
noi
goal with his
con
overhead
questa
kick.
Europa League
Trademark.
Quagliarella. We mentioned
io
on target.
vabbè
Player that Torino
sono
last
comunque contento
beat
che
Juventus
vinciamo,
11
ma
years ago, but also played for Juventus in his glittering career.
io non
Worrying, of course,
riesco
Torino. Juventus take the lead.
e non posso ne siamo sopra il Milan, yeah!
That's an incredible start. By the way, if Juventus easily they never lose, so it's gonna be hard for Torino. But they couple of times recover from a losing position. Remember against Inter, they were 2-0 down here in the Olimpico. They managed to get a point against the Italian champion.
Cuore Granata, Toro spirit, which has defined them across their history. Back to the days of the Grande Toro side, the 1940s. Yes, of course, they are known as Torino, but for those who support the club, they are Toro the Bull. He's getting in there quick. Unitas. Vlasic. Pedersen. Zapata. Can he just take it away from Simeone, I wonder?
Yeah, Pedersen is lively. Fantastic 30 minutes by the number 16 on the right flank. This is a decent ball in. Zapata obviously went for it. Was a little bit too high, so he didn't got the connection.
Dalla quello là.
Kenny.
Vai. Dai.
Conceição bearing down on goal. Conceição. They get another stab at it. Conceição again. Pedersen just lets it run.
They slipped the Portuguese winger. Zoffoli is giving a corner, I think. Looks like nobody touched the ball from a Torino point of view. This is the chance. Look with Simeone probably in a better position, but it's not easy to leave the ball if you were Zapata. And now changing his decision probably. Yeah.
Non so se lo notate, la telecronaca è in inglese e
Roma earned 73 points, Como 71 points, Juventus 71, Milan 70, would be Roma and Como in the Champions League. Obviously Roma ahead of points, Como had a head-to-head record against Juventus, beating the Bianconeri home and away, which is why even though they finished level on points with Juventus, they would be going into Europe's premier competition, unless of course Milan turn things around and get the job done at home to the Islanders' Cagliari.
That would be a disaster for take the ball, take your opponent on.
Ve lo caricherò.
It's gonna be hard for Pedersen, whoever is gonna face the number 13 to steal the ball of him. So rapido.
Vedo i russi perché non è normale assolutamente.
Their advantage.
È una
Locatelli.
Vai, bello, vai!
Kalulu.
Ma vai a cagare, ma!
Again, Kalulu providing fantastic assist on the right flank. And from there, this is a wonderful, yes, baby Ulkan is putting enough pressure on Vlahovic, but the number 9 at least has to find a target from that distance. And from that distance often means find the net again.
Counts over his fitness in the build-up, but he passed a late fitness test. It's like with a thigh issue, and lights around, gritting his teeth. Miss out on this derby day battle. Vlasic. He has to intercept. The break is on for the Bianconeri. Rogan. Gazon. Vlahovic. Now Pepper to Ram. Tiny laps.
Yeah, deflected by Smiley, number 44. Again, wonderful job from Vlahovic receiving the ball. That's what a defender needs his midfielders to double the number 9 up because he's too strong. Lay off, an interesting one for Turam. There, maybe you don't need the power. Just place the ball towards one of the bottom corner. Now another chance from corner kick.
That's corner. Cagliari's come up to it. Still away. Benevento shot stopper. Loves Healdis, even though recent weeks he hasn't been at his very best, struggling with a swollen knee, now a calf problem. The ideal way to go into the imminent World Cup for the Turkey star. Barging, lots of tension. Small city showdown. So it's Kelly involved.
Cagliari is a bit nervous from the very start, and now even Vlahovic is having a talk with the former Cittadella, Genoa and Benevento.
No, mettiamo con una ritma.
Zuffelli having a word with Kelly and Ismaili as
La
well.
partita.
Here Cagliari pushing Juventus centre back away.
Cagliari really rallying the troops, really trying to rile his teammates and cheer them up. Comes the throw. Kelly. Simple for Cagliari. Cagliari. Trying to find Giovanni Simeone. Yes, on. First to it. But from Cambias back to Tim Benny. Took the first from Kalulu.
Of course, that's what you have to do. You're leading 1-0. Don't take chances.
Benny. Kalulu gone down in pain. Does actually stop it. Pushing there, Kalulu with Ganatis.
High ball, everybody is going for the ball. I think it is went against probably Kalulu's shoulder. This is the goal. Look, Ismaili. There are 3 Torino players around Vlahovic, but nobody is tight enough with the number 9, receives the ball, chop inside, then with the inside of his left foot. Striking maybe was not the cleanest strike, but easy enough. Deflected by Torino defender, finds the net.
Non gas, me voglio insultare.
Ready for the 20-25 kickoff and then go back in the dressing room for an hour. Mentally, must be doing experience that maybe with games, maybe just maybe because of heavy rain, it's simple. Coaches maybe doing their part, keeping motivation levels high. What can you do in those situations?
You need to be focused, of course. It's not easy because the game has been delayed for 45 minutes, almost an hour actually an hour. It's not easy. You have to think, stay focused, don't lose concentration. That's the key thing.
Italian. Cambiaso. Italy. The count Cesal, Obrador, Zapata, Organatis, Zapata, Organatis to his left, Lithuanian, Organatis, from Vlasic, interception.
Went for the cutback, but probably there was that ball in between defenders and goalkeeper on from Organatis. Simeone was attacking that space as usual, with the usual passion, speed.
Yeah. Okay. Extended their lead, 3-1. Roma winning, so 6 and even with a win, it wouldn't be enough for the Bianconeri. They'll be playing Europa League football with Milan. Again, as things stand. Drop of the shoulder. Thuram's ball in. Simple for Cagliari.
Yeah, easy catch from Cagliari. Bossing is a 6-yard box.
Just a little over 10 minutes to go. It's going to kick off at 20:45, so we'll just find out their fate by the time they kick off in the second half, really. So what that does mentally to them. Bogger. Havic waiting in the middle. Some confidence in the ground ball then.
Going to dwell against Boga. Kind of mismatch. Defended well the Spanish player.
Henderson makes a run. On Breton. Silicone. Ball Skinnati!
Positive by Torino. Good stuff. Because look at the ambition. Overdose is receiving the ball, but also overlapping one of the three centre back boss. And this is a decent ball, and there, I think Guineas did everything right. It was just unlucky because he went for no power, just technique. Tried to guide it on the back post, and the fact was he didn't find the target.
Noi siamo immortali.
He hasn't scored this season.
Neanche quando ormai è tutto finito e abbiamo poco da giocare. Cioè, proprio hai asto la partita.
To take on this Torino defense.
È così. Abbiamo giocato con male, però niente troppo bene. Forse punti dopo il vantaggio meglio.
Yeah, break by Cagliari. But by the way, Kalulu proved that side of his game so much. Every time he's received the ball, his ball in are always spot on. Great deliveries.
All over the top. He appears to have it covered, but he's lost out there to Simeone. Simeone now. Vlasic. Still with Vlasic. Trump makes the block. Boga. Return. Locatelli.
Yeah, Thomas Kelly has to do better. You know, if there is a player that is not going to give up, it's Simeone. Occasion, clear the danger.
Locatelli. Ram. Locatelli moments away. Half-time whistle. To go into the break on the driving seat. Torino. Sessao. Right spark here for the Bianconeri. Get them that second goal. The Piazza. Town. Chico Conceição, one-on-one with Obrador. Struck with the shoulder. Kalulu. Kenny. Locatelli. Conceição. That little dance.
Cazzo, paura adesso.
Wow. Locatelli spotted Conceição.
Mamma mia.
It's a good move. Juventus on the right side, moving so well. Shane, Conceição, McKennie, and Kalulu is working well.
Three minutes of added time.
Comunque,
Il Stadio Olimpico Grande Torino.
tempo,
And at half-time, as we say, Juventus
Juve.
could already know their fate.
La
Roma
Juve
doing their
è in
part, they are
vantaggio,
winning
ma
Verona against 10-man Verona.
crea
Como
veramente
are winning
poco.
again against 10-man.
Non
Cremonese,
nulla, pure,
Cremonese going down there after just a season.
veramente brutta,
Back
ma
in the top flight. Milan losing to Cagliari. So many twists and turns in this race for the Champions
se
League
deve
this season.
incontestato.
Obrador now.
Incontestato.
Just lose out. Conceição, Locatelli,
Caspir,
Thuram, Campiazzo, Chico Conceição.
Ma
We said it so many times, the thing that he has to improve. Final end product off the board there. Here, Gatti, doing one defender sometimes has to
vabbè, ma
do clear the
diciamo
danger,
che
no risk.
la Juve, anche se sta vincendo, non è che abbia tutti questi stimoli perché nel senso non dovrebbe essere così, però quando i giochi ormai sono fatti, diciamo che poco poi a più, però Thuram è uno di quelli che mi sta piacendo di più. Vlahovic ha fatto gol, ma nulla di che. Sì, da quello che potete aver capito, primo tempo della Juve brutto.
Torino looked like a bit tired because Pedersen went by
Abbiamo
himself,
perso
they
veramente
realized that
poco.
not a lot of Granata players were following him. Positive again by the number 16 on the right flank.
Cioè, vincere ma comunque non basta per andare in Europa League. Vabbè.
To be attentive there, which he was.
Yeah, Obrador, he's got a fantastic left foot. We know it. Perin here is keeping the ball in his hands. It's not easy. Look, Zapata was immediately there. And here Gatti showing his preparation. Look, even almost touched the ball with his hand.
Goes the half-time whistle, Juventus in the driving
Finisce
seat,
qui
but
questo
it
primo
doesn't
tempo
appear that it's
bellissimo,
going to be enough to
grande,
qualify for the
un primo
Champions League.
tempo
Vlahovic
calcio.
then, his goal, the difference between the two sides in this derby della Mole, second half on the way. But at the
Probabilmente
halfway
chi sta
stage,
provando a
then, it
tifare la
is
Juventus
Charles
già si è
Valenti's team
addormentato.
in front here
Vabbè, ci
against
vediamo
their
nel
city
secondo
foes.
tempo, però
Half-time here, 2-0, Juventus
primo
1.
tempo veramente brutto. Siamo in vantaggio, ma non è importante. Noi siamo già in Europa League. Qua bisogna vedere tutto per capire gli altri risultati, ma siamo già in Europa League. Vedremo chi sono insieme a Milan, non lo so. Ma ci vediamo il secondo tempo. Eccoci ragazzi, è iniziato il secondo tempo e già rischiamo.
Was probably the best Torino player in the first
Ho
half.
appena messo la telecamera sul telefono qua. E comunque la Roma è come ufficialmente in Champions League. Vabbè, per il Como, vabbè, c'è un video a parte da fare perché per i requisiti per entrare in Champions non bastano quindi comunque non serve più niente a lui.
And also out on the pitch as well. The second time now in 4 years they're going to miss out on top four. They did it a couple of seasons ago because they docked points. This time, not good enough. In camp, out on the pitch.
Yeah, they lost recently a couple of Champions League final as well. But the last time an Italian team won the World Cup was Inter with Mourinho 2010, 16 years ago.
Long time ago. Serie A teams were the kings in Europe not just in the Champions League, but in the UEFA Cup. Now Kalulu, Juventus, get a second. Conceição.
Vai, Conceição.
Conceição. Barbara is having a good game.
Yeah, he's a good player. I saw him for the first time against Torino, against Inter in the Coppa Italia in Monza, where Inter beat the Granada 2-1. It was positive. But he's a very attacking-minded wing back. Has to improve defensive skills, but he's done all right against Conceição so far.
Conceição. Same before, Ireland needs to be better with that delivery.
Yeah, especially if you're kicking the ball with left-footed players from the right. You have to be precise, because he's an in-swinger. The goalkeeper is always the first to collect the ball in the air.
First half, the kick was delayed by an hour after crowd trouble in the build-up to this game. Now Cambiaso, space opening up. Here goes Cambiaso! And Pagliari tips it out behind.
Yeah, Torino.
Poi ci mettiamo pure a tentare di da lontano.
That is a decent save. Good try from distance. Pagliari, good save, diving perfectly on his right. A bit away in the corner for Juve again.
È un po' muto che sei, cambiato. Promofe. Visto che si è bloccato, ragazzi. Era un po' bloccato, ragazzi. Un attimo. Perché? Scusate. Ok, ci siamo ragazzi. Non andava la diretta. Non andava la diretta.
Smiling from Casadei, now Ilkan. With a little change of direction to get away from Locatelli. Vlasic is the flying Pedersen. Ball in again, too close to the keeper, too much on it. Clever, that's clever from Kalulu. Helping it on for Vlahovic. On breaks the service, just got away from him. It's almost a picture book move. Got that. Kalulu comes up and in the pitch at times to change the picture for Juventus. Nominally a right wing back. There is in the middle of your screen as a attacking midfielder. Here's Boga. Vlahovic again, sends it back to the Ivorian. Space in for Conceição. 1 against 1. All across. cross. Sits up. Oh, it just kisses the post, I think, from Locatelli on the way. Trying to curl it inside that near post.
Locatelli should be scoring. Season. There's plenty of time to line up his strike. A player of Locatelli's ability. You can see he tries to just bend it round from out to in. A player of his ability should be at very worst hitting the target.
He comes a long way. Make sure Zapata couldn't get a piece of that. Discussion around Juve's goalkeeping position. They gives it to Pedersen. Space here for Ilka. Nicely done by Juve to have it back on Cesaro with a good work. Vlahovic gives it back to the Portuguese.
Fai l'ultimo tocchino.
Play on the counter. Serbs full of running here. Has it back. Oh, brilliant!
Doppietta.
That's why
Mo statarete che mo fa doppietta rinnovano
he chases
per
Victor
40
particularly as a free transfer.
Bravo,
His second on the
fai la
night is
doppietta.
fourth in four.
L'ultima doppietta in bianconero.
Ricchio-like counter-attack. Cuts this out, put it in his path, and he just redirected it. Cool as you like, beyond Pagliari. His second, Juve's second, job done.
It's exquisite from Vlahovic.
Vabbè, comunque davvero ragazzi bellite. Ma la vince o perdere non cambierebbe nulla, però io non cambia niente.
No pace on it, he just glides it into that far corner. That's a man on form. I should say 4 goals in his last 4 games. And he will be in demand in the summer. Make no mistake.
Ma allora, vabbè, veramente
From the big centre forward.
a me sai questa interpretazione di tutto, non
Torino mentioned earlier on.
ma non perché tu non c'entri.
He's
Cioè,
derby dell'amore.
vedi, ma era così difficile
Big
giocare, non ti sei sforzato per niente.
symbol, if you like, of the city of Turin, and hence he played for the pride and the bragging rights in the city. They won
Col
one in
Torino
the
che
last 31 meetings.
ma
Torino
modesto,
was more than a
niente di
decade
che.
ago.
E
Don't think they're going
bastato
to win this
solo
one. Big game. Juve have had the superior quality.
invece
It's
no,
not going to be enough for a top 4 finish.
invece no,
That die is now cast
devi
with
cagare
late
addosso
kick-off
con la
here.
Fiorentina e anche con
Elsewhere, they
il
cannot catch
Verona,
Como, no matter what they do here.
che è
Vlahovic has scored
bastato
10.
appunto, la Roma ha vinto per il
It is
Verona,
not about goal difference. It is the head-to-head.
ha vinto ed è in
Have
centro.
that over.
Non con Verona 2 punti, Fiorentina solo un punto.
They're taking the lead before any of the other teams.
E poi
Well,
mi
of course, we'll
dire
never know.
che
Will we know
la
with the intent?
Roma,
It didn't happen for events off the pitch.
ha
What we
vinto
do know
contro
is that
tutte
the
le
defeat
equipe,
a week ago to Fiorentina looks ever more
ha
costly.
vinto con 2 anni
That's in effect why they're not
ed è
in the top 4. They and
meritatissimo il
Milan
posto in centro.
have blown a commanding position
Pure
in
da
each
7
race.
classificati,
They had in
quindi
hands the two of them.
poi, me lo ripeto, poi ne parleremo con calma di tutte le squadre con cui risulterò già spoiler che la Roma è una per quelle che poteva lottare
It's cost them
in un modo più
it's cost
sicuro.
them, yeah, because the finances generated from Champions League football make a huge difference.
Perché non avete così?
Ever more the case for Italian clubs,
Bastava
even the biggest
veramente
of them, like Juve and Milan, with wealthy owners,
che bastava
big
veramente poco,
sponsorship deals,
bastava
so much
veramente
hinges
poco.
on a
E
place
dici no, tu sei
at Europe's
stronzo.
top table.
E tu mostri a
Neither will
giocare
have that.
così,
That will be
quando
the
non
privilege
incontri un
of
cazzo
Inter,
vince.
Napoli,
Allora,
Roma,
tu sei stronzo,
Lazio.
tu doppietto di vince. Se doppiette che fa, un po' in quinto, che cazzo stanno la persona.
Zapata.
Prima
It's
di io
nice.
tantissimi
Done.
punti,
Jay Adams, the Scotsman.
però
I think
purtroppo se stiamo di
to a
soldi
World
non
Cup in the
colpa
summer,
nostra,
a chance to stretch his legs, maybe change the outcome of this game.
è colpa nostra.
If not,
Noi
Champions League
su
place
questo non possiamo fare niente,
top of Serie A.
sono loro che sono dei
Work
soldi,
out
no?
here.
E l'avevi detto che si permettono pure a pareggiare quello più un vantaggio di minuto.
Zirka. Nice ball in. Adams feels he was pulled over. Referee says nothing doing. Points to the goal kick. Another look. It's a bit too late on the replay for us to tell. It's Lloyd Kelly, the Englishman. He has an arm on him. There's enough there for the referee, Aaron.
I'm not so sure.
VAR will look. It is a corner.
Generous, the referee giving a penalty for that. Together, but near enough for me.
Good ball in from this man. Swings one in from the far side. Again, lovely ball. Chelsea midfield.
Vai a vedere la
What
notte
would you have to say in the middle
come
there?
vanno a fare vedere ma
And a textbook inside. Torino.
che cazzo di buffata che sto per fare. L'ho appena detto.
Fantastic header, where it came from. Questions will be asked, who's doing the picking up, who's doing the marking.
Ora vediamo i gol.
The maroon, the Granada of Torino feel better.
Tu ma Drummosse.
He's a talent.
Ma Drummo
As
pro,
he's one of those that at times has been picked out as potentially part of a future
tutti a fare delle belle
Italian
statine del
national
cazzo.
team.
Bravi.
Who's going to take control of that national team
Meno male
this summer.
che sono venuti
Does Conte go back
perché
with
vedere
his
delle
departure from
chat
Napoli?
qua.
Does Allegri have a rethink now that Milan are not a Champions League team next season? Does Roberto Mancini take the job again? Questions. But Casadei has reignited this game. Smiling.
Disappointment of not making the Champions League. The bare minimum you want is for one now is to make sure that they come out with the 3 points from this game and the bragging rights. Got other ideas.
Smiling in to nod one forward for the runners. Sudan was away. Sits now. This is the assist for that second Dusan Vlahovic goal. Which is one of those to be withdrawn. It is, yeah. Little shaker there. The serve, of course, is on a hat trick here. Is that to be his final appearance in the Juventus shirt? The strange night gets stranger. say, after 61 minutes. Jonathan David, the Canadian, is one of the two changes from well, I think Emil Holm, the man on loan from Bologna, is like the other. And Cambiado is another to make way. It's sort of a like for like. Holm, I suppose you'd argue a right back by trade, but play on either side. Vlahovic coming off.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Argues for that.
Also for Torino, Ilka, the midfielder, off. He is on to some attacking moves from the Versa. And Obrador also makes way for Onkuku, the Frenchman. Torino chasing. 2-1 down now with today's goal. Here is first involvement, 25-year-old. From Eintracht Frankfurt. Passage back to Ismaili and back in turn to Pagliari. There's a passer now to win those, flicked on Simeone down in a heap. With the ball, Captain Locatelli, space to run. Ball across, Kalulu of all players. Casadei, the goal scorer, with the free kick. More chat between the players.
A couple of them nibbling at him. Casadei. Locatelli.
Oh yeah, that's what has infuriated the Italian, understandably. Kalulu gets the card, frankly, could have been his skipper. Yeah. They both were essentially going into the ref's notebook there. It is just Kalulu.
Casadei's made a difference since his introduction.
Not out of this, Torino, not yet. Jonathan David. That's nice. Gives it back to the Canadian. On for Vlahovic. He's this season. Unfortunate that he has not found a way to be what Juve desperately wants him to be. He has not been the difference maker. The goal scorer. Here's Nkunku. Fresh to the fray, full of running. That's a good ball. If it works out, it doesn't. Kenny
Yeah.
getting stretched again. He was, of course, the free transfer, David, a year ago nearly. Vlahovic might be through the outdoor this summer. Juve had such high hopes. He had such a great season at Lille last year, particularly in the Champions League. He's got quality here and can't show it in a Juve shirt.
I think that's been the biggest disappointment last season. 9 goals in the Champions League. 19 goals in the French. But managed 9 goals all season.
6. So, yeah.
It's been disappointing. Hasn't quite worked out for him. Definitely changed the thinking of the hierarchy about Vlahovic because Vlahovic is proven, he's given us a perfect example this evening of what he's capable of.
Reno's throw it. That's his house. Slip. Final touch. Here's Ismaili. Willing Nikola Vlasic. Back to Ismaili. Long searching. Diagonal, but Kenny on hand. It's David. Back. tried to launch Boga, but again, right idea, wrong execution, or the reverse, whichever you like. Didn't work out. So 2-1 Torino trail with about 25 to go in this odd late game on a Sunday night. We'll have more from Serie A next season after 3 big games to come on TNT Sports and HBO Max over the next week or so. And Wednesday night, we're in Leipzig for the Conference League final. Crystal Palace hoping to beat the Spaniards of Rayo Vallecano. We start at 6:30 with our build-up. On the Saturday night next weekend, all eyes on Budapest for the Champions League final. PSG against Arsenal. And then the Women's FA Cup final on the Sunday against Manchester City. And before we return now, it's a slightly naughty one from Angie. Yeah, returning to TNT Sports and HBO Max next season at 40 company for many weekends. Season begins. There's not any need for that from Angie. Maybe has made a slight deal of it, but it's all unnecessary, isn't it?
It's so unnecessary. Angie doesn't need to make contact with at all.
Ball change from Devesa. Pedersen has run his socks off almost literally. He's replaced by the midfielder, youngster Matteo Ratti. For what remains here. He's forced down the flank, isn't he? Pedersen doesn't always have the final ball to the running crowd. He would love to get an involvement at the other end of the pitch. Jonathan David finished the season with something of a flourish if he can. Whether he's at Juve next season, we will see. Here's Conceição and then Emil Holm. Long-legged Swede. Good run. Wins the corner. Does he? No.
Good defending. Oh, does well to get to the byline, but just the ricochet just comes off his shoulder.
Good spot by you and the officials. It's another, you have to say, Juve player has an uncertain future. Hasn't really happened to Teo Minus. He's going to get 20 minutes or something. As is from your midfielders.
Assolutamente cazzo, però mi fanno questa voglia di mettere diretti e anche per me la aggiungerei, ma quello un po' più compensato. De Grove manca.
I think he has been a qualified success. Would you say, Conceição? Loan from Sporting?
See, so in these moments it's frustrating at times, but
Davis. Oh. First touch for me. I tell you now. There is Koopmeiners, Dutchman, so forceful at Atalanta under Gasperini, not been able to reproduce that. Of course, another player on loan from Nice in France. Again, you wonder whether Juve might think about a permanent move there. It is, the referee just kind of stopped the play there, strangely, and decided it's time for the cooling break. He looks pensive, doesn't he? Looks, understandably, a bit frustrated about coming off.
yeah, you can understand why. He goes brilliantly. First one, slight bit of fortune, but absolutely no fortune about this. It's all about Vlahovic and his qualities. Stroked it into the corner.
Yeah, and for a player who clearly favours the left, it was a cultured right foot finish, wasn't it? And there's fine headed from Casabe. Yeah, does the next few weeks in store for him, apart from clearly the World Cup.
the World Cup coming up, Vlahovic is able to have some more goals to his time. Could be a man in high demand. Certainly for a free transfer.
Yeah. That will interest a number of big clubs, you feel, to get a goal-scoring centre forward with his size, stature, experience, recent goal-scoring form on a free. Trees.
They're worth their weight in gold. Everyone's looking for that number 9. If you can pick one up on a free transfer, all the better for it.
So, after the cooling break, Juve's free kick. Before we stopped. 20 minutes or so to play still in Turin in the derby. Just a goal separating the sides. Good Miners floats one in. That's an excellent and important touch from Ismaili. Otherwise, could easily have been a third for Juve. Here's Lloyd Kelly.
Just hoping that ball would just run through to him, isn't he?
He was. Do with any and all help. Didn't get it there. His hold. So,
A couple of little runs down that route, and it just hasn't quite dropped for him yet.
yeah, we can only speculate for now what Juve's team will look like at the start of next season. And obviously, as part of that, who's making the big decisions? Damian Camoli, in effect, in charge of that process. Michel Spalletti, the coach, will want a big say. There are others involved in that leadership group, including, obviously, former captain.
Imagine if Spalletti's agreeing to stay, he's going to have some level of say about how he rebuilds the team and which players he brings in. Consideration. No Champions League football.
Yeah.
Which players are you able to bring in?
Yeah. And keep for that matter. It's nicely done by Torino. Sheridan's link the play. Far side wants to work hard forward. Lost it. To Jeremy Boga. Ball. Submit it to Jesus. Exactly his game. Game enough, but likely to get there.
Game's just got a little bit scrappy now.
It has. And in fairness, you can't really, it's a lot of changes as well, but also the sting, someone got out of the game. It'd be nice to see a bit of Kenan Yildiz if he's fit enough. He's on the bench before this season comes to an end. Minetti. Just wrap around him. Certainly
palle.
going to the ball. Trey Adams. Seperos. Casade, goal scorer. Too much of that. The throw-in. Still feel there's something in this Torino, clearly. Body language. They're not going to give up on a derby at any point. Is that goal kick? It is, yeah. He's asking a lot of Nikola Vlasic, that rather hurled at his midriff as it bounced up.
His movement there. You know, as a striker, managed 5 goals this season. involved in the build-up play, but noticed as a striker, I've been there myself, but not scoring goals, you tend to drift deeper and deeper. Get involved in the build-up play, but you're never in the box when that ball comes in. Maybe just suffering a little bit from that.
Maybe we're not going to see Kenan Yildiz. It's Kosovan Edon Jegrova, who replaces Jeremy Boga on that far side, left footer. Generally operates off the right flank, Jegrova. Let's see where he plays. I think he's on.
Oh, no, man.
Chance for Torino. He caught it beautifully and Perin was in the way. Chance again. Offload Kelly. The shot behind for the corner. Suddenly Torino asking questions.
There's a big save from Perrin. And she catches this beautifully. He's straight at Perrin and almost knocks him back. Good save nevertheless. Side of Perrin and fancy that would be in the back of the net.
Swedish player, G, with pace and power. That's trying to get on the end of something. Oh, that was almost Casadez again. The little flick took it away from him. Just when he was shaping to meet it, Gatti to the rescue there.
I'll ask the questions now. So, they find this equaliser.
Has got a long throw, winding one up here. Home to meet it. Gatti lifted back in, but nobody read that.
Nothing more than to find an equaliser. Last two home games against Juventus, very rarely win. Last two at home that managed to get draws out of it. Hoping that they can get another one tonight.
2 down, they certainly will. Take that as a kind of moral victory of sorts. It was a very unsavoury incident outside that led to the hour delay at the Torino Stadium tonight. Juventus follower badly injured in violence between the two sets of ultra supporters. Taken to hospital, and the Juventus fans in the stadium didn't want this game played at all. For a while, the Juventus players were unwilling, I think, to come out as a result, but I guess he attempts to say in the end, common sense has prevailed.
Something's prevailed. It's a sad sign when the players are worried to come out because of the threat from your own fans.
Yeah, it's time, says Locatelli. Talking to the Juve fans before the game. Here's Jegrova. Favoured left. Nice feet. Oh, now then was there a clip? No. He made a little dart forward, but just lost control. Wouldn't have had his feet taken. He didn't complain, in fairness.
Non parlo perché ovviamente sto vedendo la partita e diciamo che una Juventus che sta gestire per le ultime qua la riesce perché tanto il risultato diciamo che
Somebody or something, Spalletti.
il risultato ci conta, però è anche corretto magari
Torino's ball with his smiling.
entro 10 minuti vediamo sempre di danno di tutto, però sostanzialmente non è tanto importante il risultato perché purtroppo ormai siamo in Europa League.
That's the 10 minutes of the 90. He's smiling. Back to Pagliari. They've done well here. Forced Torino back when they want to come forward. She, Brian could hear from a long way away after the intervention of Weston McKennie. Yeah.
Mi spiace che siano totalmente così, nel senso che avrei voluto che questa vittoria, che la vittoria,
Back here. So
era
handful,
più
the step nice feet. Turn of pace as well. Unlucky maybe with the cross. Sat tightly for
mi sta diventando una vittoria che
Just that final bit, isn't it? Lovely footwork to get away from his man.
una vittoria che
Still look out for
è
him, Lawson is there
inutile,
full. Sent
ma
it
anche
all the way
un fatto
across.
scontato.
Kelly has to put it behind. And McKennie, beg your pardon. Corner three.
Ireland under pressure now. You can sense that there's something here for them.
Anche perché sostanzialmente
Nobody's
la
behind, did he?
Juve
Nobody would
non
be
è che sta
leaving. McKennie
facendo
had to deal with it.
una grandissima partita,
Shouted at either one of his teammates to help him out.
assolutamente passata. La partita è tutta.
The end swinger. Into the danger zone. Great save. To the delight of the Torino faithful.
Ragazzi, allora,
It suddenly felt like it
io
was coming.
rido per il viaggio,
It was brilliant.
ma se siamo allora, se noi siamo nella posizione che qui settimo non andassimo mai un
Flew
quarto,
into the far corner, and we're all
con
square.
giusto, ci siamo
What a strange
settimo,
night. What a strange game.
ok, non mi interessa.
It's that high Che Adams. Full credit to him. He said moments ago, goal return that he would have liked, but and in the right places. Today again, causing problems, forces the second component. Che Adams is allowed to it. It's on the volley and it takes a wicked deflection. Even if it's on target, but Hero can. Cannons of Getty. His way into the back of the Juventus net and Turin on level terms. Spalletti not happy.
No, you know that because the jacket came off, the jacket's now back on. That's how serious it is. Interestingly, it was Casadei, wasn't it, with the header of the far post, so he's been a right threat from those set pieces. Scored from one, very nearly scored from another. As you say, big deflection on the chance. But he will care not a bit. He'll claim it, he'll want it. It's a big goal for the Granada. It's 2-2.
3 consecutive home meetings in the draw.
That drags Juve now below Milan, back into 6th now. 2-0 defeat to Fiorentina last week, and now 2-2 tonight against 3-0, got a 2-0 lead. It's not good enough. It won't be good enough. On the drop volley, it's it quite well, I can tell you. But it's always rising. They are thinking, can we win this? Can we really rub Juve noses
Non
in
sono
it?
arrabbiato perché ve l'ho detto, non i risultati mi interessava, ma
In the last 4 or 5 minutes, you can catch a
veramente non so cosa aggiungere. Perché è tutto, cioè ragazzi è giusto, che cazzo stiamone, è inutile girarci attorno, è inutile.
Oh,
There's nothing you can do about it.
you know what? It's not even on target. I don't think that he won't care. Still would be claiming it, he'd be claiming it. Yeah. Now, what's happened here? Yellow card. It was then figured over. Hopefully, wasn't much more than a lot of
Pare che sia successo
irritation.
nell'Italia.
Seen enough outside the stadium tonight. None of that.
Guardate, io mi sono arrabbiato,
A game of football, I'm afraid.
ma da un lato sono arrabbiato ma solo perché il primo tempo,
Message.
perché
Ebos.
il modo
That card. Another
di merda che ci siamo
big swing.
fatti
With a loose ball.
diventare,
It's all getting quite testy, this.
cioè, invece di altre cose,
He wins the corner. Does really well. He's got everybody fired up. The Argentinian.
esistono
They can sense a winner. They're the team in the ascendancy.
Definitely
pareggiare pure con
a
il
sense of
Torino nel mondo,
anticipation.
con
It's
il
going to be
Torino
up
magari
As
tutto
long as he's
e
got
tu sei previncente,
foot delivery. Can he put it in the right area? Bit flat, not the near post, met successfully.
non
From
puoi
the point of
vincere,
view.
allora immagino
Gets it back to
pareggiamo,
Ebos.
se sono previncente il Torino, tutto parato.
Okay, Juventus.
Guarda, non manco
Captain, he's been a calm presence tonight, in fairness.
Yeah, he has, and he always is. It's a class act.
Bielsa is in the wrath of the referee. It's very nonplussed with what he was hearing from the Torino bench.
Got a case. He's come back off. Like I tell him, should have been a Torino corner.
Pagliari launches one long. Adams gets a piece of it. And G. Deep into, nod it briefly away. To be a fancy this, here's Lassich. It's a foul, that's a silly foul. They've lost the call here. Juve.
Took a little bit longer than expected, but officially lost the plot.
It's unnecessary for Roy Kelly. Juve players all around Lassich. He just wanted a foul.
It's
5 minutes. And we're into those 5. He, amongst those that could take this. He steps away. Oh, that's way too much. It's a waste. It's a shame for Legos to get on the end of it again because of a Juve take the 2-2 at the moment. After all that's gone on in Turin today and tonight, they will not want to finish with the first derby defeat in more than a decade. Message. No one's run further than him. He's running close.
as well before
Yeah.
he was replaced, young man.
Torino fans are in full voice now. Anyone not jumping wears black and white goes the shout from those in maroon. The acrobatic clearance, but game's quite scrappy. Is there a moment of magic left? Signori bumping into everybody, isn't she? Just for a bit, split seconds. You know, right down the throat in the end of Torino, half ready. feeling. Swede on the other end. Hill with space to launch one. That's just into the palms of Pagliari. This game may still have a twist.
It's a basketball game, hasn't it? It's end to end. Jay Adams has an effort. The defenders go down the other end. Home. Big save out.
That's a big save. Sheffield short here. Back. Cross. Gatti. Turn to try and force the issue. Ball in. Well met.
Io
Is that time? 2 minutes. He wants more than this. So they launch it up for Simeone
mo
to chase
perdiamo
again.
pure questa squadra di merda,
Just enough of it.
Guardate, meno male che mancano tutti i minuti e sta squadra del cazzo non la regola
Minus
di
limited
ritorno.
involvement since he came on.
Ma anche se mo vincono per i nostri della vita, io non è che
Ball for
sei
Kalulu.
entusiasmato,
McKennie.
anzi. Se contro Torino a ridursi a non vincere. Ma lo vedete se poi non vogliono fare in maniera scappati in casa.
His manager
Non dà proprio se non
just wants this to be over, I think. It's the season to be
ne
over.
facciamo un anno.
Fairy tale finish here, not for
Guardate,
Juventus.
sono contento che
Might
almeno
yet be
qui
for Torino.
perché non è giusto, non è giusto.
He's doing well initially to keep it, but then Kalulu's done better. Take it off him. To Juve, free kick. Fratelli will launch it. This will be surely last chance. Down the side, Villagrova, clever. Can he get the cross into the danger zone? That is it. It will be on even in Turin. For a game that for a while didn't look like it was going to happen at all.
È finito qua 2-2.
And a 2-2.
Meno male che è finita. Meno male che è finita. Sta stagione del cazzo, meno male che è finita. Ed è l'ultima live che facciamo. Finalmente. Cioè, finalmente che non mi dovrò avvelenare per altri 2 mesi. Cioè, una prossima live, alla prossima.